Hey everybody, welcome back to another film of the week. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. We are relaxing on the couch once again. Just got the place myself, so I figured just to be out here where it's nice and just like just nice and open, not so limiting to my room and stuff like that. Um, but we're back with another film of the week, and this one will be brief because on one front I don't have much to say about it, and for another I have stuff that I gotta do, so I need to make this short. Um, and thirdly, I actually did already record this once, but the footage got lost. I guess when I was freeing up space on my phone, I guess the footage just got deleted by accident. Um, so, and um, purely by coincidence, in what I'm reviewing, the passing, of course, of James Earl Jones, which is very unfortunate. One of the most, one of the most iconic voices in cinema with Darth Vader, and with, of course, Disney classics with Mufasa. Um, so we're going to be actually reviewing a film of his, um, and it was my first time actually uh, being introduced to James Earl Jones, and it was a it's a film that holds a lot of stories and personal spots in my childhood. So that film that we're going to talk about is The Sandlot, which I forget who written and directed it, but um, I am familiar with the fact that he also did the follow up, which was a direct to DVD release, if I'm not mistaken, and was also quality wise nothing compared to this. Um, this was released in the 90s, and this follows a bunch of kids. There's a new kid on the block, and he's trying to get himself affiliated, trying to get himself familiar with his new surroundings, and his family, specifically his father, has an interest in baseball, and he himself also has an interest in baseball, and he's trying to because the father is also a new member to the family, so there's a whole dynamic that's trying to be established between the son and this new figure in his life. And whilst that is going on, he uh, finds himself with a group of kids that are also big baseball fans. They, go to a abandoned baseball field and just play around. And as he gets to grow with these people and gets himself integrated into the group, there comes a point where they lose their ball, and it's over this fence, and there's a the beast, as they refer to it, which is a big massive dog, which they're intimidated by. They do not want to go anywhere near that. So the kid decides to grab his father's prized possession, and that is a baseball signed by Babe Ruth himself. And they play with that ball, they lose that ball over the fence where the beast lies, confesses to his friends that that ball is actually very, very priceless, and they all band together in a extremely nonsensical approach to getting the ball back. Instead of just knocking on the door, which in fact James Earl Jones himself says at the end of the film, they decide to go through just a complete ordeal to try to get the ball back from the clutches of the beast. So, uh, so I must say with full disclosure, I know that this film is complete nonsense. As I said up front, it is a plot that is a completely and utterly pointless when you apply realism to it. I mean, the fact of what they're doing and just just the exhaustion, kind of like just them just going tirelessly to get this ball back. You know, it doesn't take a genius to think like, well, why can't you just go knock at the front door? Why can't you just do this and that? Like intimidation is one thing, but if you're just eager to get something back, you might as well just, just pony up later, or just grow some balls. Um, but if you're able to detach from that and allow the film to play, um, what you get from it is something oddly charming, and a lot of that stems from the cast. And um, in what these kids do on screen, they are actually kids. Because a lot of the time when you get child stars, they're just they're acting. They're just putting up their own charm, but it's in disguise of acting. There really is no actors in this movie. I mean, they are. I mean, in what they're doing, they're playing characters, but their attitudes are definitely not of actors or performers. They're clearly there to have fun, and they're clearly there to just goof off. I mean, by design of just like certain scenarios of like how they try to get the ball back and just the dynamics with each other within this group, it's clear that these kids are just, and also they're directing wise behind the camera as well. Everybody seems like they're just there to just goof off and just have a good time. And usually with that type of mentality, the films usually suffer for that. There's a great saying, I don't know if it came from a critic or actually from a filmmaker, I'm not entirely sure, that the more fun that people have making a film, the less so the audience does in watching it. And as I said, I totally confess that my enjoyment of The Sandlot stems from the fact of when I watched the film. When for being at such a young age and my connections watching it with my dad and all that stuff, like there is definitely a bias in this, than what I'm discussing. So I fully acknowledge that if I did not watch this at the time of when I watched it, I'm very certain that this attitude that this cast displays, like they're just pure enjoyment and stuff like that, I'm very sure would work against my viewing of the film. However, when I did see it, it worked, and I get a cast that is just fun and clearly looks like they're having fun, and not like it's not artificial at all. It doesn't seem like they're just doing it just because the script tells them to. It looks like they're clearly having fun, and these actors would not incidentally do anything after The Sandlot. I think they would do like a film here or there, but nobody really branched out of that film. They just all kind of went back to doing normal productive lives, um, which again kind of speaks to the quality of that dynamic and that it's pretty legit. They are just being themselves, um, and really that's what makes the film. I mean, it is the core element to this sort of situation. If you do not jive with this group at all, then clearly it's not going to work for you. But because of you know, my enjoyment of that group, I found myself kind of falling into it. Yes, does it make sense? Absolutely not. Is it a kind of an excuse in some regard, like just a big fat excuse just to have things happen, and that the characters make it harder on themselves when they could have just gone and knocked at the front door? Of course. Is it fun though? To some extent, yes, because of the cast of what they're doing and the pure fun that is clearly there when you look at these kids and what they're doing. You can just clearly you can see that they're having fun, and I admire that, and I thought that was impeccable. Um, so yeah, so I fully acknowledge that it is pure nonsense, but it is within a cast that is charming, that is fun, and fairly harmless, and when it's all said and done. Um, and the brief appearance by James Earl Jones is also appreciative. I liked his small role that he had. Um, and like I said, it was my introduction to James Earl Jones. So, um, but but yeah, as a film, it's 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 very very harmless, and it's a film that it really works by a certain time when you watch it. If you watched it when I watched it when I was very very young, you may find appeal rather than when if you were to watch it now as an adult, you will find probably a lot of issues with it. So it really is um, a capsule of a film where it really depends on the time of when you watch it. That kind of it measures the quality of it. And for me, the time of when I watched it, I found a cast that's appealing. I'm pretty sure that if I watched it as an adult, the opposite of that would occur. There's decent jokes. Um, there's just generally just decent, uh, just flavor of humor. Um, yeah, there's just an essence to that cast that I can't really find elsewhere when it comes to child stars, and I think a lot of it has to do with just the fact that it's real. It's just kids being kids. It's not actors trying to act out a attitude or an energy. It's just that energy. It's just them as people. And with that, you get a little bit more with the Sandlot than you might come to expect. So, so those are my thoughts on the Sandlot. It is harmless. It is extremely nonsensical. There is no point to the narrative to exist in the way that it does. But you get a cast there that kind of makes it worthwhile, and it is in the way that I enjoy it. Yes, it is basically a turn off your brain type picture, but more I would say more defyingly, it is a guilty pleasure, at least for myself. But you guys know your thoughts on the Sandlot if you guys have seen it. Your thoughts on just if you ever saw like the sequel or anything. I have vague memories of it, but if you remember watching it, let me know. Your favorite films from James Earl Jones, rest in peace, obviously. Um, your favorite pieces of his, like Lion King, Star Wars. I know he also did the play for Fences, which I've seen little bits of. I remember him being good in that. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.